Thank you. The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Colorado, Ms. Boebert, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for being here today. Director Stone-Manning, so in Mesa County, one of the great counties that I represent, we have been waiting more than 5 years for a particular parcel. We've been waiting for the BLM to sell this 31.1 acre parcel of land in Clifton. It would be sold at a fair market value, and it's on the disposal list currently. And I just am curious if this is an issue that's on your radar.
Congresswoman, you just put it there, and I commit to you that I will look into it.
I would love to work with you on this. This is a big deal for my constituents in Mesa County. It's something I've toured the site and have legislation to support this. So if there's something that we could find to work together on, this parcel of land would be a great place to start. Now, my colleagues in this committee and in the House, they have claimed numerous times during debate that wilderness designations don't prevent or restrict active forest management. I'm curious if you agree with those sentiments.
Congresswoman, we do manage wilderness differently than we manage the front country, but we do have tools at our disposal.
So what are some of those tools? Because and particularly mechanical thinning is something that's prevented in wilderness areas, and we are reduced down to old, long, two-man hand saws. So do you think that that is enough to manage our forests with 6 billion standing dead trees in the West?
That and prescribed fire, I think, is what is necessary.
A handsaw and prescribed fire rather than mechanical thinning. So as a follow-up, if we're serious about actively managing our forests, and I believe that we all are to some degree, we just have different ideas on how to get there, we have to prevent these catastrophic wildfires. And certainly prescribed burns is one great way to do that, and forest cleanup and reducing the fuels that are on the ground. But would you say that we need more mechanical thinning on a larger scale in these overgrown areas?
Congresswoman, we are focusing that work with great intent around the wildland-urban interface in order to protect people and communities. Last year, we did about 1 million acres of mechanical treatment. This year, we've got a goal of about 1.3.
And are you intending to increase the use of mechanical thinning?
Around communities, yes, we are. We're focusing the work in places that.
Well, so in my district, we don't have as many of those communities that would be affected, but we certainly have areas that my colleagues are trying to designate wilderness and already have, and that prevents us from actively managing our forests. And I believe that the greatest way to do this on a larger scale is to increase mechanical thinning. We have to reduce the 234 million acres of forest that's currently considered high risk for these dangerous and catastrophic wildfires. So that's another thing that I would love to work with you on, because we have to be good stewards of the land that we've been given, and actively managing our forests is one way to do that. Now, mineral lease sales, moving on, are required by law to take place at least quarterly. Accordingly, there should have been at least 9 rounds of lease sales in the past 2 years. With gas prices as high as they are, and there should have probably been more than 9, how many rounds of onshore lease sales has the BLM held in the last 28 months?
Congresswoman, thank you for the question. We held a lease sale in fiscal year 22. That was 5 sales, if I'm remembering properly. We have sales now, regular sales coming starting this month. But I think that
how many sales are scheduled for this month? Because I'm showing that the answer is 1. We've had 1 lease sale, and the BLM is not currently complying with law here, and truly hurting domestic energy production. So how many sales do you have planned?
Congresswoman, oil and gas production is at an all-time high on federal lands, and oil and gas corporate profits are at an all-time high. 14% of...
So I live in a drilling community, and I can testify that we have been regulated into poverty with our oil and gas production because politicians get into office and virtue signal and make these false claims about our good, clean energy production. And unfortunately, it is hurting my constituents. And so if we could work together to increase these sales and increase future production, I think that would help the future revenues for essential services like schools, roads, firefighting, and all of the things that we care about so much. Director Stone-Manning, I'm over my time, and I thank you so much for your